Have you ever wondered, Jenny, what would happen if the devil showed up not with fire and brimstone, but wearing a tailored suit and ready for an intellectual debate? That's precisely what occurs in one of literature's most fascinating scenes.
JW. That's a genuinely intriguing way to view this scene from the Brothers Karamazov. Instead of the typical demonic figure, we get this sophisticated gentleman who engages in philosophical discourse.
And what makes it even more compelling is the setting. Ivan Karamazov, in this feverish, delirious state, suddenly confronted by his own doubts and fears, taking human form. It's like watching someone's carefully constructed worldview being dismantled piece by piece.
The psychological complexity is remarkable. We're essentially seeing all of Ivan's internal struggles manifesting as this urbane devil who uses logic and wit rather than threats and intimidation.
You know what's fascinating about Satan's arguments? He suggests that humans don't actually want the freedom they claim to desire. He basically says that true freedom is such an unbearable burden that people will do anything to escape it.
Hmm. Wow, that reminds me of how relevant this remains today. We talk so much about freedom, but how often do people actually choose comfort and security over genuine freedom?
And what's really brilliant is how Satan presents evil not as some grand dramatic force, but as something completely ordinary and almost boring. It's in our daily choices, our small compromises, the little moments where we choose convenience over conscience.
The way this scene handles the reality versus illusion aspect is particularly masterful. We're never quite sure if this is a genuine supernatural encounter or Ivan's mind fracturing under the weight of his own philosophical contradictions.
Well, that ambiguity is precisely what gives the scene such power. Whether Satan is honest or not becomes almost irrelevant because the arguments he makes are devastating either way. He's forcing Ivan to confront the logical conclusions of his own philosophical positions.
So, what do you make of the contrast between Ivan and his brother Alyosha throughout all this?
Oh man, that's such a crucial element. While Ivan is having this intellectual meltdown, questioning everything he has ever believed, Alyosha maintains a kind of pure, simple faith. But Dostoevsky doesn't present it as a simple triumph of faith over reason. It's much more nuanced than that.
That's right. Alyosha isn't portrayed as some naive believer. He faces his own doubts and struggles, but there's something about his approach to faith that provides a psychological stability that Ivan lacks.
And you know what's really interesting about how this scene functions in the broader novel? It's like watching someone's entire worldview implode in real time. Yvonne has spent the whole book trying to understand everything through pure reason, and here we see the moment where that approach finally breaks down.
The way the scene handles the relationship between reason and faith is particularly sophisticated. It's not suggesting we should abandon reason entirely, but rather showing how dangerous it can be to rely solely on intellectual understanding.
Looking at it from that perspective, you could say this scene is really about the human need for something beyond pure reason, something that can help us make sense of existence in a way that pure logic can't. It's about the limits of human understanding.
That really gets to the heart of why this scene continues to resonate. These aren't just abstract philosophical problems, They're deeply personal questions that each of us has to grapple with in our own way.
And in the end, that's what makes this scene so powerful as a piece of literature. It's not just making philosophical arguments, it's showing us the human cost of these intellectual positions. We're watching someone literally driven to the brink of madness by their own ideas.
Well, JW, it certainly gives us a lot to think about in terms of how we construct meaning in our own lives and what happens when our frameworks for understanding the world start to collapse.
Discussing this, Jenny, has made me realize how timeless these questions truly are. Whether we're debating 19th century Russia or the present day, we're still grappling with the same fundamental questions about faith, reason, and what it means to be human.